Furry. A word that when it comes to the online world has been around for as long as many can remember. It is a word that carries a lot of weight on the internet and is prone to some of the internet's most controversial and volatile topics. So, from Animal Crossing to Hell of a Boss, I'm Monkey, and today let's go over the official in-depth analysis of the furry community.
I can do anything!
So, for anyone who may not know exactly what a furry is, the Google definition of a furry is a person who has an interest in anthropomorphic animals or animals with human qualities. On the internet, however, furries are often known to be a fandom of people that take a liking to anthropomorphic animals or animals with a human bone structure. Some people wear tails or ears, and others wear fursuits. Furthermore, on the internet, many self-proclaimed furries have what is known as a fursona or a furry persona. It is essentially that person's persona that is in an anthropomorphic body. Usually a fursona will have both personality traits they possess and personality traits they do not possess. Some example of these fursonas that have personality traits inside of an anthropomorphic body are as follows. Mellow the red panda, a fursona that likes drawing, rainstorms, autumn and different types of mythology, while disliking children, mushrooms, negativity and hot weather. Dulce the chihuahua, a fursona that enjoys bright and pastel colours, along with rainy days and holographic items, but dislikes grape soda and hot weather. Or finally, KB the sheep, a fursona who enjoys collecting cute hats and loves winter, but is shy and quiet. The furry community is a community that has had many controversies and still to this day is disliked by many other communities on the internet. Whereas the hate for the community has significantly decreased over the recent years, the community still receives a large amount of hatred and negativity. A lot of this hate and negativity that is brought upon the fandom and the community is often for no real reason and is just for the sole purpose of being edgy or trying to be humorous. However, there is a list of genuine issues that the furry community has, and even issues that the community itself agrees should be brought to light and corrected. For example, some of these issues include: the fandom is too sexual, the fandom has a negative public image, fandom includes / is too tolerant of deviant fetishes, and there is too much drama and conflict within the fandom. A large part of the reasons to why the furry fandom seems to be very sex focused is due to there not really being much else to do in the fandom besides looking at art, drawing our own art and watching pornographic material. This is one of the many reasons as to why furries and people in the furry community openly suggest and ask for more comics, books, television shows, web series and games made by furry fans and aimed at primarily furry fans. This doesn't mean that there hasn't been anything like this, however, as in the past and even to this day, there are communities all over the internet that gather to play, make and develop games that are furry related, so let's talk about that.
When I first saw Isabel, I instantly creamed my pants. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. She was so thick, even thicker than Judy Hopps.
Animal Crossing is a simulation game where you move into a new town and make a living for yourself. The possibilities in this game are endless, from meeting neighbours to forging friendships, from fishing to hunting and even more. The game has a little bit of everything for everyone. So you might be asking the question, Monkey, what does this have to do with being a furry? Well, Animal Crossing is a game that puts you in the shoes of a human in a town filled with anthropomorphic animals. As the mayor of your desired town, you must work to pay off your debt while making friends and learning new things along the way. From characters such as Isabel, your cute and definitely not psychopathic dog assistant, to Tom Nook, a raccoon who runs various businesses, this mix of friendly human-like animals mixed with you, the player, being a human makes this game a perfect one for the furry community. All of the characters have their own unique personalities, with many of them being kind and generous. Furthermore, the previously stated human-like properties that follow the characters allows said furries to relate to these characters and build their own personal relationships. Over the recent years, however, more and more furry content has appeared in the Animal Crossing fandom, with some of it being more explicit than others. One of the main sources of this explicit material is a site known as Rule 34. Without going into too much detail, Rule 34 is a rule on the internet that states if it exists, there is porn of it. An example of this would be a video titled Animal Crossing is Wholesome, released by YouTuber Mox in 2020. This video lightheartedly makes fun of some people who call Animal Crossing wholesome despite the amount of sexual content that could be found in the game. Ranging from the explicit drawings made by Animal Crossing users to artwork that has been produced by various artists, one of the characters that has faced some of the most sexual content will be Isabel, the previously stated dog assistant. In 2021, an Animal Crossing related video that was granted the title of Zone Anchor began to gain popularity. This video consisted of an Animal Crossing character known as Anchor in many explicit positions, with the song Camel by Camel playing in the background. This spotted many memes copying the trend, giving the video even more popularity. Overall, the Animal Crossing community has faced a multitude of explicit and not safe for work controversies, and despite being aged 3 above, it doesn't seem as if the adult community will stop anytime soon. This begs the question, however, what other furry related content is out there?
Your and lick all of your before taking out your and with more teeth until you're screaming like a fucking baby.
Hell of a Boss is an American web show created by Vivian Medrano that follows the protagonist Blitzo, a demon imp whose goal is to run his own small assassin business with colleagues Moxie, Millie and his receptionist Hellhound Luna. Hell of a Boss, like Animal Crossing, features a mainly anthropomorphic cast, with one of the main characters being a talking hellhound. This, combined with the comedic aspect of the show and the relatable characters, makes the show a good one for many furries. Furthermore, the combination of the soundtrack and the amazing cast of voice actors has put the show at the top with other furry shows, such as Zootopia and Beastars. The adult nature of Hell of a Boss, like Animal Crossing, led many artists and fans to create places to express their sexual desires of the characters. One of the main characters that has become a common name in the Hell of a Boss and furry community is Luna the Hellhound. With her tsundere personality and her gothic appearance, she has been the perfect candidate to choose when making a not safe for work art or content, with the show writers even poking fun of it themselves. Luna isn't the only one, however. Other characters such as previously mentioned Millie and community-loved Blitzo are also the receivers of explicit content. This is due to both of these characters being in a romantic relationship or having romantic partners, making it easy for people in the community and people in the NSFW community to ship them, write explicit fanfics and draw art that centers around these characters. The main grabbing point behind Hell of a Boss is the enjoyable, funny characters combined with the human nature of the cast despite them all being animals. Luna, one of the characters who receives a lot of explicit art, is a hellhound who walks on 2 feet, texts, and wears human clothes. This allows people in the furry community to relate a lot more to the character. Overall, the furry community is one that has had many controversies and has been around for a long time, showing no signs that it will go away anytime soon. The internet has had its ups and downs with the furry community, however, as we go into 2022, we may see even more furry-related content creators, video games and TV shows being made by furry allies. Until then, however, we can only sit and wait to see the development of the furry community. I've been Monkey, and thank you for watching.